Hello, good morning, good evening, good night. Unless, of course, it's neither of those three things. If not, where the hell are you and how are you listening to this, you strange alien creature? I am Grufflock, your host, and with me today is a special guest to talk about special things. Special guest who's here to talk about special things. Would you like to introduce yourself? Please.
Hi, it's me, it's Tricky, I'm here yet again.
And due to various legally binding contracts, I can only pronounce your name as Tricky.
Yes, these very nice legally compacts.
Because you and your lawyers made of filth.
Yes, my lawyers who missed the obvious loophole.
Oh yes, all loopholes are mine to exploit. So, hello there, sir. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Ready to discuss this interesting topic that we have.
Yes. Well, I think with no further ado, we might as well just bounce straight into it.
Indeed.
So, Tricky, with our year anniversary, you have been back in the fandom for some time now.
Yeah. About 9 months-ish, give or take.
Yeah, you came in just after we were in SFX, which would have been January, February?
About then. It might be March, actually, but you know what the like with these magazines, they put them out as March and then release them in January.
Yeah, that's true. Strange. Very strange, SFX. Very strange.
Yeah, they have 13 months, though, so, they've got to make up a month somewhere, I suppose.
That's true. Maybe they just have March twice.
Marchuary.
March. March again. No, that sounds like some kind of bizarre...
Yeah.
Order. You will march. March again. Anyhow, wow. Not even 3 minutes in, we're already way off topic.
Yep.
I really should stop this. Anyhow. So, Mr. Tricky, we dragged you back into the fandom, it seems. And for that, I apologise. But on the other hand, yay! Yay, more people! More people to share our cracking. We can't stop it now, neither can you.
Yeah, it's a bit Borgish, actually. I feel like we've been assimilated.
I do think that we should all stand outside your house just going, one of us, one of us, one of us.
You have to join the queue.
The queue of people that now stand outside your house.
Yes, but we don't talk about that. For various reasons.
Curse you and your lawyers made of filth. So, Mr. Tricky, what we're going to do is talk a little bit about how it's been for you coming back into the fandom after not being in for a good many years, it seems.
Yep.
But before we get to that, I think it's probably best to get a little bit of background. To start with, how did you get into the Transformers themselves to start with?
I mentioned this before in the 101, but I got into the original Transformers. I actually found the comic last week. It's issue 2. I think it's 1985.
Nice.
My parents used to go to my grandparents on a Saturday, and I was a hyperactive child who ran around and broke things. So they decided to give me things to read. So this started off when I was a kid with Pippin, which is a magazine that I don't remember anything about. And then graduated to the Beano, and then finally Transformers, which kept me quiet, I believe, for 10-15 minutes on Saturday.
And those 10-15 minutes, I bet you, were the best 10-15 minutes of the weekend.
Pretty much at that point. I mean,
for both you and your parents.
Yes. She's not running around in circles.
Yeah. So, how long after that did you first get your... Sorry, how long after that did you get your first toy?
Oh,
And what was that toy?
I know what he was. My first toy was Wind Charger. And I know where he is exactly.
Nice.
He's inside a wall at my my junior school.
What?
Because it would be about 1985, 86 maybe.
Right.
And I'm not going to describe Wind Charger because I insult people's intelligence, but he's a rather small vehicle.
Yes.
And I was playing with him at one break time, driving along a wall. One of the top sections of the wall are being removed, and I was driving along this little concrete-y bit with a hollow down the middle, and dropped him. And looked rather forlornly as this small red and black car sat about 18 inches outside my reach. And, of course, I tried to retrieve him with sticks and things and just pushed him further into the cavity, and as that wall's still there, I assume he's still there.
Wow. You do realise sometime in the future they'll take this wall apart, find it, and think it was some kind of offering to the gods.
No, sometime in the future I'll be there with a sledgehammer saying, I want my toy!
Yeah, give it about another 6 months and that's how deeply you'll be in.
Do you know how much this toy's worth? It's about 25 pence.
I could put this on eBay and then buy a coffee.
But no, Windcharger was my first toy. I would guess sort of 85, 86 is somewhere on there.
Mm-hmm. And how long did you spend in the well, not in the fandom as such, but how long did you spend until you actually came out?
That's a completely different podcast.
I'll rephrase that then if you
I stayed until issue, was it 233 when it finished?
Yeah.
After that, I believe you once described me as a casual fan, and that's probably about right.
Mm-hmm.
I was always interested. I followed the toy lines. I probably still got toys, actually, even after the comic had finished, and I'd kind of not got into everything. And it's a bit odd. I mean, you've got to remember, this is, early 90s?
Yeah.
Ish? 92-ish?
92, oh, hang on. No, it'll be 90, the comic finished, because 92 was when G2 started up.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah. So you got to remember, 1990, you couldn't just go to the magic box in the corner of your room and type in Transformers and find out about everything else that's out there.
No, that's true.
So I was just one small boy in a village in Yorkshire who, all of his friends had already outgrown it, and there was nothing being released. So that was it. I played with the toys. I reread the comics, and that was about it.
So, you say you were a casual fan. Did you, at any point, walking through Tesco's, see one of the RID figures and just go, oh, yeah, I'll have one of them?
Yeah, I was in college, I think, at the time, when Beast Wars was released.
Right.
And I saw the branding, the Transformers branding, and looked at it and went, that's not a car. Wandered over and had a look, and thought, well, okay, they're doing something different with this, but I can't say I find it that appealing. I mean, I still don't look at, say, a Beast Wars Megatron or a Beast Wars Primal and think, ooh, I have to have that toy.
No.
It's something about the using legs for legs and arms for arms and heads for heads that it doesn't challenge me.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these are amazingly difficult to transform, but I bought Optimus Primal at that point.
Mm-hmm.
He was on sale somewhere, and it was like, oh, it's a monkey. It stands up and uses its tail as a whip. Okay, I think I'll be leaving these. But the one that really sold it for me was Dinobot. I bought Dinobot because he's a Dinobot, and I love my Dinobot.
Good lad. Good lad.
But it's the Transmetal version.
Oh, yeah.
So it's all white and blue and shiny, and I took it home and I stood it up and I went, have I transformed that right? He appears to have sides for arms, which is kind of cool, but how the hell does he pick something up?
I agree wholeheartedly with you on that, with some of the Beast Wars figures. I mean, the only one I've actually got now is Rat Trap.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted a classics Rattle Trap. So, that'll do me.
Yeah.
And the majority of them... Please don't die, it's bad manners.
Your fault, you infected me.
I'm giving you the lurgy. The Beast Wars figures, and to some extent the Maximal Beast machines, I never liked the aesthetic. It was just one of those weird things. Plus, the idea of somebody who's got like an organic covering, wouldn't transforming hurt like a bastard?
Yeah, that's the bit I never quite got my head around. I remember, God, when would it be? About 98, 97, and we just got the internet at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't tell you why, but I put in, it must have been because these things were still kicking around, and I'd found it in a box at home or something, but I put in Transformers. And I came up with basically it was a synopsis for Beast Wars.
Right.
And I read it, and it was like, this is okay. So this is still in continuity with what I knew. All right, so I'd seen Rebirth and everything, so I kind of knew where that had gone, and realized that that spurred off from the comics. And I was trying to. I'm gonna digress here slightly because I've been thinking about this kind of concept a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Transformers as a multiverse. Not in the truest sense. I see it as a universe.
Right.
As one undistracted string that goes all the way back to the 13.
Yep.
Everything that happens, in my mind, fits into this linear timeline. And yes, you can have shattered glass universes, and yes, you can have Galvatron creating causal problems by looping time, but it's all one universe. So I want to say, you go, this happens, this happens, this happens. You've got Wolf Cybertron, you've got them crashing into Earth, you've got G2, you've got Beast Machines, you've got RID, Energon.
The Japanese version of of RID, Car Robots, it actually is in continuity with G1.
Oh, good.
So that makes your struggle a bit harder. A bit easier, sorry. What makes it harder is when you start getting into the Unicron trilogy.
Right.
When Armada and Energon were doing the rounds, I actually sat down and wrote a great big thing of how Armada and Energon would actually fit into an ongoing G1 continuity. That was difficult. And then Cybertron shat on me from a great height, because you can't do it with that.
See, this is where you're into my massive blind spot, so you're going to have to explain that.
Well, the Armada and... I won't go into too much detail, but basically there is ways of making Armada and its sequel, Energon, fit into the G1, G2, Beast Wars, Beast Machines, Car Robots storyline. There are little slots that you can fit it all into. Cybertron, however, because it's not a continuation of the Unicron trilogy originally, it was redubbed and rewritten to become the third part of the trilogy.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit into those two, and doesn't fit into anything else. It is completely standalone. You cannot do it. And then, of course, there's animated, which you can't at all.
Right. If you take things as if you take these as kind of oral histories rather than, say, an encyclopedic, cold telling of what happened.
Yeah.
Surely there's a way to actually resolve everything. Because, all right, you take the Quintessons versus Primus.
Yeah.
Right. Surely these are just two facets of faith. I believe that Primus is the planet, and he will one day save us all unless someone shoots him in the face.
Yeah.
I believe Quintesson Wizards made us. Okay, let's live in peace and harmony. It doesn't matter. These are just faith. You don't necessarily need to have a resolution to say that this is what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting way of looking at it. I mean, the BotCon comics, the Primus Quintesson one quite well, where the Primus one is... Yeah, that Cybertron is Primus, and then somewhere down the line, the Quintessons came in and enslaved.
Yeah.
Whilst Primus was sleeping, which I thought tied those together quite nicely.
Yeah.
The problem is when you start getting into other little facets of the I know you don't like the term, but of the multiverse, you start looking at it going, this is like some kind of crazy... oh God, what are they called? Is it the 12th day evangelists or something.
Oh, the 12th day Advent hoppers.
The ones that have their own little compound and sit there waiting for the end of the world.
Yeah.
You start getting into that level of... So it's probably best not to try and work it out. I mean, I'm quite happy with animated being a completely different continuity. That's fine. What actually did it for me for continuities was I tried to keep everything in one continuity in my head up until Dreamwave happened. Bastard Dreamwave. I remember reading the first 3 issues and just going, no.
Well, trying to wrestle us back on topic.
Never.
Whoever wrote this synopsis for Beast Wars, they didn't do a brilliant job of it, shall we say.
So it wasn't the Ben Yee version then?
I couldn't tell you who it was. It was before Wikipedia. It was before Google. Literally, it was just somewhere online. I think it was just in stark text. I don't think there's any pictures or anything.
Yikes.
And I read it, and it was like they didn't mention Earth, which was the problem. They didn't mention that these guys were on a mission, doing something, and trying to retrieve a golden disc.
Right.
They just said due to raw energon leaking, all Transformers have had to downgrade in size and become carbon-based shells. And I'm reading this thinking, what the... right, okay, I'm not really bothered about this. 'Cause I knew the TV show was going on, and I knew that if I really wanted to, I could record it. But I'm reading this, I'm thinking, do you know, I'm happy with my memories. I think I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
And that was it. I was out. And I didn't go back until, as we say, about March or February this year.
Wow. I mean, that doesn't even fit in with the original toy bios.
It's a really good advertisement to actually look at multiple sources for things, because if you read a single point, it's like, okay, this is this person's perspective, and they've maybe written this in 25 seconds just to get it out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't get my head around that one at all.
It was really strange. It was truly. Now I've looked for it again since, and I can't find it. So he's obviously been strung up for some tree somewhere.
He's just there with a quick strike around his neck, hanging slowly.
Slowly swinging in the breeze. Yeah,
that'll teach you. No, it's. I mean, Beast Wars I'd never really had any interest in when it was out and about, and then I found Ben Yee, and that was it. Ah, Ben Yee. I blame him for a large amount of my plastic crack collection. But anyhow. So you're out for a good many years, casually in through the window.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this the last couple of days, and I can't find the connection. I knew about Scramble City. I knew about Master Force. I knew about Victory. When they were released on DVD, I had pre-ordered them, and I did sit down and watch them. How I know about them, I really don't know. I've mentioned this before, but I'm a scientist. I went to university with a lot of geeks.
Yeah.
None of them particularly liked Transformers. They knew of it. They enjoyed it at the time, but they weren't, oh, have you seen this? You must watch this.
Yeah.
You know, they were into other things. So how I found, it may just have been me looking at Play or Amazon and seeing the pre-release stuff, seeing the Transformers name pop up, and buying it. Because I bought that's probably what it is actually, because I bought the DVDs of the G1 series.
Yeah.
So it's probably people who bought this also bought.
Yeah.
And so I bought them, and I sat down and I watched them, and I thought, this is fucking weird. And I've got to say, Headmasters completely derailed it for me.
Yeah, it can do that.
I watched it out of sense of duty, rather than, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah. You mean you actually got through the entirety of Headmasters? Oh,
God. Oh, that's an OCD thing. If I'm reading a book, and it's the worst book ever written, I will finish that book. I've never walked out of a movie. have a masochistic sense that things might get better, or it might all get explained, or what if I'm missing the greatest thing ever if I stop now?
Yeah.
So I finish things, for better or worse.
Did you even thought that after watching Hardhead doing karaoke?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I can see that. It's one of those things.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a cartoon. It's supposed to be entertaining.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's true. Headmasters is entertaining in some sense of the word.
exactly. I mean, it's not, it's not War and Peace. It's not His Dark Materials. It's literally an animated show about giant robots.
Yeah. And you've got to be able to take the good with the bad, really, don't you?
Exactly. Can you imagine trying to sit down and have a serious discussion about Transformers without any sort of being able to look at any of the flaws or anything? If you treated this as a documentary, it just wouldn't work. I mean, even if you know all the physical problems, as in where the hell did that sword come from, or like how did Megatron mass shift to that degree, and why is he now a gun laying on the ground as Starscream stomps him into the earth? If you ignore all that, it doesn't work. You need that. You have to suspend disbelief. You have to with almost everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Just go with it and enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying it, go watch something else.
Couldn't agree more. So, you spent all this time out of the fandom, occasionally looking in, finding stuff like Headmasters. Did you watch Master Force and Victory at that point?
Yeah, I saw all the Takara stuff, apart from Zone, because it wasn't in the individual releases of the things, and I wasn't buying a huge box set just to get another DVD.
No, that's understandable. And, those things died off, and then G2 came along, and... I mean, did you pick up any of the G2 comics, or...?
No, G2 completely passed me by. At the time, I wasn't still am, actually, mail ordering comics.
Right.
So, for whatever reason, these things didn't show up on my radar. If I'd seen them, I would have bought them, but... no, I was reading Spider-Man at the time, and that's about it, and didn't pick them up.
Okay. And then after, of course, G2, you've got the entire Beast Wars, Beast Machines, which we've already gone through.
Yep.
And there we had the dark times, so to speak, which actually isn't that bad. As much as everyone keeps going on about the dark times between G2 and Beast Wars, it was 2 bloody years, if that. So shut your face, you whingers. It wasn't that long. There was toys on the shelves. Between Beast Wars.
I mean, this is the thing. Coming back to it, when you see references to all this, and it's like, oh, we must have been without things for 10. Because I obviously thought we were without things from about 90. No, so I thought literally, Beast Wars in 86. I thought there was 6 years. And then you see all this other stuff, and you're thinking, well, it kind of kept going.
Yeah, there was all the Machine Wars stuff that went on for a while, and there was loads going on. But of course, nobody saw it.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point, the majority of the people who had been watching it and buying it as kids and early teens, at that point discovered girls.
Yeah, there is that.
And there was just those few solitary, shadowy figures just sitting there going, I'm fat, I don't get girls.
I'm trying to remember what I was reading, what I was watching at this time, though. And I'm struggling, to be honest. I mean, was this Batman the Animated Series?
Yeah, Batman the Animated Series was doing it rounds, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I took a left turn in about 99 and started watching Buffy, and that was all I was kind of interested in for a while, but that's 99, so...
Yeah, that's over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
God, that's depressing.
Yeah, these things I don't think about.
I try not to. Then I realise that my favourite album of all time, Master of Puppets, is actually nigh on 25 years old now.
I know. It's when you listen... It's when you're listening to kind of like a classics rock station and they start playing Nirvana or something, and you're thinking,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's not fair. That's really, really not fair.
So, no, this is really contemporary. No, it's really not.
No, there hasn't been good music for about 10 years now, so anyhow. I'm not going to get into that conversation.
So I just got an email from Stan Bush.
I'm assuming that's your album that wasn't signed.
That's the one, yeah. But he heard you and he's not happy.
Uh-oh. He's coming for me. He's coming for me.
As long as he brings his bloody Sharpie.
But anyhow, talk about Stan Bush actually later on, once we finish recording. But anyhow, so we've got the great big period of time where obviously you found other things: Buffy, Angel, girls, beer, feck, booze, girl, rabbits. And then
talk about that.
yeah. So we'll fast forward right the way up to March of this year then. Or there.
Okay.
And so you were looking through a copy of SFX.
There's a little bit of backstory here, and I won't go into great detail, but
Okay.
About a year ago, my wife, she became quite ill, and without going into anything, I ended up with quite a lot of time on my hands, where I couldn't really go out or do anything, but I wanted something to listen to, so I really got into a lot of podcasts and things.
Yeah.
Which wasn't something that I'd really had any time to do before. So I'm a bit of an anomaly for people who listen to this kind of thing because I've always been very sporty as well. So I kind of lost myself to football and things like that in this kind of dark period. And so I got into ESPN podcasts and football podcasts, and that kind of bled into me looking for other stuff to listen to. And then I eventually, reading SFX, saw a little picture of what I thought was Megatron.
Right.
And I looked at it and went, either that's a really shit droid of Megatron, or it's not supposed to be Megatron. So I looked at it, read the little box out, found the Old Owl House website, and found it deserted. Started downloading the podcasts, and with no disrespect, some of the first podcasts were difficult to listen to, shall we say?
Definitely, very, very much so.
It's kind of interesting. You've kind of hit the ground running with a lot of this, because if you actually listen to the content of the early shows, the humor's still there. The kind of kernel of what you've always been is still there.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting to watch you three kind of grow as hosts over the year.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for probably over 100 hours of entertainment.
Yeah. We could have been doing something else. That's so depressing.
But yeah, it's things you don't really want to think about again. But yeah, so as I say, I've always had Transformers on my radar. I made the mistake of trying to watch. I'm trying to remember if it was Energon or Armada. I think it was Armada, and it was one Saturday morning or something. And I used to, me and the wife used to sit down and watch Pokemon. We both loved Pokemon.
Right.
And I watched Armada and I thought, it's kind of the same thing. And I watched a couple of episodes and I thought, I really don't like this.
Yeah.
So just checked out again.
Yeah, I don't blame you in the slightest.
There wasn't anything wrong with it. It just wasn't engaging is probably the best way to put that.
It was redubbed on the cheap, I think is the best way of putting it.
Right.
It was done too quickly.
Right.
If it had given some time and effort, it probably would have ended up really well done. Because the last section of that is really good. The section where they had like a year to get it all translated and rewritten and re-recorded, it actually gets really, really good.
Okay.
But the first 3 quarters of it are dire.
No, I watched. I bought the. Oh God, what was it called? I bought the game for the PS2.
Oh yes, yes.
Which I had loved for kind of like the first hour. It's like, oh, I'm a car, I'm a robot, I'm a car, I'm a robot. Woo! Running around, running over things, grabbing mini-cons, and then I just got bored with it. It wasn't a bad game. It just wasn't engaging. And again, I was playing other stuff. It's like with games. You're playing things, and if something doesn't hold your attention, you go and do something else.
Yeah.
Games are the one thing I don't finish. Just simply because sometimes it's like, this really isn't worth the time I'm giving it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
I lost, over 200 hours to Final Fantasy VII.
You should speak to our resident love drug, DHD.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, up until earlier this year, Final Fantasy VII was still the greatest game ever. And then Fallout happened.
But I saw your podcast. I kind of started listening to it again, and it was about the time of the Beast Machines Roundtable.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been slightly after it. The first one I heard was a lock-in, which is probably a good thing, because if I'd have heard a Roundtable first,
yeah,
I might not have downloaded the next one, because it was like 2.5 hours or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It was like, I had got time, but I haven't got that much time. So I went back and I found Beast Wars on entirely your recommendation, and I actually kind of liked it. It's once you actually get the premise of it and what it's about and what's happening and why, it's still a kids' TV show.
Oh yeah,
there's no getting around that. But it's really good. It's certainly better than a lot of the original G1 shows.
Oh yeah, by far.
All the Vox stuff is really intriguing, and it's a shame they never kind of went anywhere with it. But I enjoyed that, so I got Beast Machines, and I'm having kind of love-hate relationship with Beast Machines, because it is in my heart of hearts, I know it's a really good show.
Yes.
I wrote a review at the time that I have a lot of problems with kind of religious zealots, and Prime had really, I know he blamed himself and he was carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders and everything else, but he took it too far. His characterization was too much the woe is me, I must flagellate myself, and he's Prime, so he obviously wants to kill himself anyway. But you just get the feeling that if somebody had come up to him and said, some quintessential wizard comes up and says, look, you kill yourself, we'll put it all back right, he'd just kill himself without any sort of second thought whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah. But that's one of the reasons I liked it, because you have such a flawed and broken leader.
I can kind of see that, but
it's not. Yeah. Your leader isn't the guy that's the guy that's going to stand there and go, oh yes, everyone follow me. Freedom is the right of all sentient beings, blah, 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 blah. This is the one that sits there and goes, shit, I fecked this beyond belief.
Yeah, but in public, he should be doing that. In public, when Cheeto or somebody came up to him, he should have been, this is what we're doing. Trust me, I'm your leader. In private, yes, he can be completely messed up. Yeah. But you can't show weakness in front of your troops. They don't trust you if that happens, and then that just causes more problems. Mm-hmm. You have to be the kind of God on earth who will lead you to the promised land.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think, the problem I had with it, because I wouldn't have followed Prime.
Would you have followed Night Scream?
I would have followed. I would have had Night Scream with a nice Chianti.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Definitely can. And I'm not going to say that Beast Machines isn't flawed. It is. It's massively flawed. But I can take a lot of that because they try to do something completely different.
Yes, but the key is it kept me watching.
Yeah.
At no point during that series was I saying, this is shit, I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah.
I watched it, I loved it, there's some amazing bits, there's some not amazing bits. I've said before, nothing I've seen so far is completely without redemption. There's nothing that's just mindless builds. Now, maybe I've not seen enough.
You haven't seen Cybertron yet, have you?
No, I haven't. Well, just to clear this out of the way, I haven't seen any of the Unicron trilogy. Right. I haven't seen Beast Wars 2, I haven't seen Beast Wars Neo. I haven't seen them animated. And I know. I was trying to watch it in continuity.
Right.
And the Unicorn Trilogy just sits there looking at me saying, push it, push it, push it. So I've decided I'm going to leapfrog that and I'm going to watch animated.
Well, if you're going to watch... Right, here's an easy way of doing it for you.
Yeah.
Watch the intro movie for Armada.
Yeah.
And skip right the way through to, I think it's episode 46, Mortal Kombat, and watch it from there.
Right, okay.
There'll be characters, there'll be things that you don't quite understand, but at least you'll be getting something watchable.
Right. Okay, I'll give that a whirl.
And then Energon, watch about, I don't know, 1 in every 5 episodes.
Just to touch base, okay.
Yeah. Because Energon, the annoying thing is, Energon's got some really good concepts, but they feck it on every single level.
Okay.
And there's a brilliant thing, Demolisher from Armada. By the time Energon starts up, he's sided with the Autobots, which is really cool. And you get some really cool ideas can come from that. But let's just say they feck it beyond belief.
Okay. Now, this isn't the Gestalt, is it?
No. No.
See, this, you see where I get my hatred for reusing character names.
Yeah.
I haven't seen these things. Demolisher means one thing to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
This honestly, this is where it all stems from. Somebody says something to me and I'm like, oh, okay, so they've completely changed that guy's character. I mean, he used to be an Autobot. There's numerous things that I haven't got the shorthand.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like kind of fumbling in the dark with a lot of this stuff because it's like, okay, fine. Well, I've got two options here. I either stick my hand in the air and say, excuse me, sir, I don't understand. Or B, I keep quiet and hopefully something will come clear later, or I can go and read something.
Mm-hmm. Or you can also start up a thread at www.oldoilhouse.co.uk. Sorry.
It's not a bad idea, actually. We need a help group for people who haven't seen stuff.
I think I might actually set that up.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's like, you kind of take on faith. I mean, stuff like Beast Wars 2 and Neo, I've just kind of put it aside.
Yeah.
And I'll watch it for entertainment, but I don't think it's going to alter anything, because obviously people in the States didn't watch this, so it's not going to have any sort of long-lasting effects.
No, it doesn't. Within its own continuity, it does. Between the second and the Neo and the Warning, Lio Convoy and Intimate Danger movie.
Yeah.
There are ramifications that run through all three, which are quite cool. Less so for the movie, but definitely in the series. Especially towards the end of Neo. Frickin' hell. But outside those two continuities, not much in there.
Right.
That changes anything outside it, so...
Okay.
So...
But yes, so I've missed, essentially now that I've caught up with Beast Machines and Beast Wars, I've missed the Unicorn Trilogy and Animated. I'm jumping back in with Prime when that starts.
Yeah.
I've missed all these mini shorts as well that I keep seeing popping up, all the little 5-minute internet things.
Yeah, the webisodes.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, the Universe one was bloody awful. I don't recommend ever seeing that because that doesn't touch base with anything. It's just there, and it's only really worth it to watch Prime's casual disregard to rabbits. No, I'm being completely serious on that one. Prime seems to hate rabbits.
I'm now trying to remember the Beast Machine's rabbit. What was his name?
Oh, Stampy.
Stampy, yeah.
Don't be dissing the Stampy. The Stampy is the
Stampy's
man.
right.
The
Yeah.
Stampy's freaking awesome. Love Stampy.
Oh, yeah. That was the other thing that... sorry, I'll tell you that later.
Okay. I'm going to back away. Oh, I'm scared.
Yeah.
So, moving into the present day.
Yep.
What we've got now. We've got the 2 live-action movies behind us and a third one on its way. We've got toys coming out by the gazillions. And we've got a new animated series on its way. You now, how far into the fandom would you say you are now? At this point?
I know enough to know what I don't know.
Right. Okay.
So I understand that these things are kind of taken as individual universes now, and we can have this discussion again if you want, but I don't really think we need to, but Prime will be its own universe.
Yes.
No previous knowledge will be required.
Yeah.
So I can watch that and be just as much an expert as the next person who wanders around the corner.
Yeah.
When we discuss bigger things, it's not the case. But I'm not going to go back and buy Energem toys. I'm not going to go back and buy Cybertron toys.
Well, no.
But I will buy the classics G1 stuff.
So, to leave the cartoons behind us, in a far distant land, we'll jump into the comics. Where did you pick up again with the comics when you came back into the fandom?
With a graphic novel of Infiltration, I believe it was. I completely missed all the Dreamwave stuff.
Right.
Better or worse.
Well, that's the two ways to describe Dreamwave.
I've since gone back and read them, and to be honest, I quite enjoyed it. But this may be the better read as a continuing series rather than month by month thing.
Yeah. I think the best way of going through this is continuity? Chronologically, that's the word. So if we jump right back to the beginning for Dreamwave.
Yep.
And just say, so you picked up the Dreamwave trades. To start off with, how much did you pay for them?
I honestly can't remember. They were, it's like they're scattered here, there. I honestly don't know.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I've got kind of a laissez-faire attitude towards how much these things cost. If I want something, it's worth it. If a little alarm goes off in my head saying that's too much, I don't get it. And
okay.
There's very few things that I break that for. I'm just to go off topic yet again. I'm looking for a Soundwave at the moment. I think I've mentioned before, I love my Soundwave. He's completely knackered. His tape drawer is cracked. His laser beak has got one leg. But I love him, and I would really like a 25th or even better, the San Diego Comic Con with the 4 tapes, just to set on my shelf and look cool. But the prices I'm seeing at the moment are all setting off my little alarm, and it's like I'm not paying that for that.
Yeah.
And eventually I'll find one, and that's how I view all of this, is if I really want something, it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll thoroughly and quite happily say at this point I am selling off huge swathes of the collection just so I've only got the classics generation, not the chug stuff.
Yeah, you seem to have a different attitude towards collecting than I do. I kind of more go towards what Rob talks about, whereas I want something that's cool. I want something that I look at and go, yeah, I want to stand that on my shelf so I see it every day, and occasionally I pick it up and fiddle with it.
Yeah.
I'm not that bothered about having every mold or something. I don't really understand that. But I like cool things and things that speak to me individually. I mean, going back to what we were talking about before, I bought a wind charger keychain. and he is my favourite Transformer because he was my first Transformer. And as I said, he's missing in action.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that little thing. Yeah, it's a leather plastic. He's got maybe 4 things that move on it. And that's about it.
Fair enough. I just love the idea of having a wind charger keychain. Where'd you get that from?
It was $3.99 on Play. You can still get them. They did Brawl, they did Bumblebee, they did Wind Charger.
Oh, I've seen the Bumblebee. I've never seen the Wind Charger.
I think they're still available. Maybe not on Play.
I may have to look this one up.
But I mean, this is when I was out. This is. Oh, that was the toy I had when I was a kid. I want one. So I got one, and I don't know why, but I never really understood. I never really got repaints when I was a kid. because I've forgotten his name. There's a white wind charger. And I don't even, I never saw this in the shops. If I'd have seen it, I'd have probably got it because I'd be like, oh, they're cool. They're twins. Maybe they could form an ice cream truck. I don't remember seeing a lot of stuff in the shops when I was a kid. I mean, maybe it was the range of things that the shops near me sold, but no, I can't see the keychains anymore.
Oh,
They're probably on eBay somewhere.
I'll have to. I'll sort of check it out and see what I can find.
Yep. But yeah, he does exist. But what was I talking about?
Well, we did start talking about comics, and then
yes, I segued again.
and then we just went way off. But that's fine. That's fine. That's what we're good at.
Yeah, the comics. I really got back in with Infiltration. I picked up. Oh god, it was a G2 trade. It had a white cover. Just to go back slightly, as I said before, I've always mail ordered comics. There's never been a comic shop in any of the towns I've lived in.
Right.
Until I moved here, about 8-9 years ago now, and I found one that was about 45 minutes drive away. Who, really nice people, and I started picking up stuff that they were recommending to me. I mean, I still see them now and again. The comic shop folded, unfortunately, but they were saying, well, if you're enjoying this, you probably like this. And she introduced me to things like I can't remember whose run it was, but the Thor, where he was basically running around in this horned helmet, kicking the hell out of everybody. She introduced me to Dog Witch, which is currently my favourite series ever.
Dog Witch is good. Dog Witch is very good.
I would never. If you don't have a comic shop, find a comic shop and go and talk to the people who are there. They are generally nice, friendly people, and they will recommend things to you, not just to make money, but things that you will like. And if you talk to them and say, look, this isn't really what I like, they will steer you in the direction that you will like. There is so much stuff out there that you can't read it all. You literally can't.
Yeah.
So having somebody who knows the business and can say, look, try this. You don't have to spend millions of pounds on it. You can spend £3 and see if you like this issue.
Yeah.
It makes all the difference in the world. Now, sadly, I've lost that again, and I'm now using an American site, which is costing me £50 a month just to post the bloody stuff to me.
Well, we shall talk about that afterwards. I might have a suggestion for you. But anyhow.
Okay. So I got Infiltration.
So yes.
Yeah. So I got Infiltration as a trade, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely excellent. So I got the next one, and the next one, and I think it was All Hail Megatron, where I just said, sod this, I'm just going to buy them as they come out.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed All Hail Megatron. Yes, there's problems with it, but it's a good Transformers comic.
Do you not think that it would have been better as a 6-issue?
Yes, absolutely.
Right, that's my big problem. Too much filler. But anyhow.
Well, yeah, but it's Transformers filler, and I like Transformers. So, if you're saying to me, would you rather have 18 issues of this, or 6 issues of this and 12 others of nothing? Yeah. I'm not sure where I'd come down on that.
All right, I'll put this a different way, right? At this point in time, I'm not anymore, but I was buying the ongoing, right? And as you read it, the average ongoing issue takes about 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes to read, and that's ingesting everything. At the same time, I'm buying Secret 6, which I'll read, then read again, then read a third time. I'm also buying the Batman Beyond miniseries, which I shall read again, and then read a third time, just to be sure. So, when it comes to All Hail Megatron, I can't remember what I was buying at the time. I don't think I was actually buying anything else at that point. I think I was just getting collected editions.
Okay, right. Just to derail this before you actually ask me a question. Have you reread G1?
Yes.
Right. I went when they started releasing the trades, whenever it was, when Titan did it, I bought them as they were coming out, and I sat down and I reread them, and I finished G2 about 2 months ago.
Right.
The G1 stories are not good. The overall stories are excellent, but the individual episodes, the individual comics, are not particularly well written. They're not particularly well drawn. In fact, they're terribly drawn.
Yeah, I love Jeff Senior.
I love the overall thing. I love the overall characterization. I love the overall stories.
Yeah.
A lot of the individual episodes are, well, kids' comics.
Yeah.
For one of the best description, they're children's comics.
Of course they are.
IDW isn't that for me. IDW is very much targeted at who I am now rather than who I was then.
Yeah.
Now, the latest ongoing isn't.
No.
The ongoing is a kid's comic.
I wouldn't even say that.
There's a small amount of characters. You don't have to hold a lot of information in your mind. You can basically read this bit, read this bit, read this bit. If you didn't know about what was going on in North Korea, you wouldn't care about these latest issues. It's, look at the funny man who's in charge of everything. It's dumbed it down, unfortunately. And if you're looking for subtext, you're looking in the wrong place. Now, Secret Six has currently a cast of 12 characters.
Yes.
So, yes, you have to reread the bloody thing, because you read it once and you're like, was but he's, I see, that's really clever.
Yeah. Add that to the fact that Ragdoll probably has some of the greatest lines ever. Anyhow.
Yeah, I need to, see, this is another thing where I've jumped into Secret Six because of McFeely. Damn you, McFeely.
Fanboy versus Fanboy?
Yes.
Yep, that's exactly how he got me as well.
Yeah, I'm not going for Age of Reptiles, though. I'm ignoring his charms on that one. But
Agents of Atlas is really good as well, by the way.
but I was reading that anyway.
Alright, fair enough.
But I'll move on. I don't really like that. But
okay.
But yeah, so that's how I view a lot of these comics. Is that the Infiltration series, as you know, since you're playing a painstaking podcast where you discuss every line that was drawn and every page number as to its merits. It's a really involved series. Now, where they went with that was probably a misstep. Destroying New York as they did, in my opinion, has led them to where they are now. And they've now got a problem. Now, talking about WMDs and things like that, which they've got to now, it's turning it into a farce. If you've got Transformers that can transform, what's the point?
Yeah.
We've already seen Spike can take people out with stuff he finds under the kitchen sink. So why does he need?
That was the point that made me give up.
We differ on this because I think I like a strong human component. I didn't like I can't remember what they were called, the Circuit Breaker and the rest of them. I didn't like them because I don't particularly want superheroes fighting my battles. Superheroes don't work in the Transformers opinion. Yep. Spider-Man didn't work. I don't want to see Superman. Cobra, yeah. G.I. Joe, yeah. These are humans. I want humans and Transformers. I don't want meta-humans and Transformers.
Yeah. I can understand that one. Is it right? If we're going to talk about humans in the Transformers comics, simply put, there has to be humans. In my honest opinion. Occasionally having no humans is good. Right? They don't even have to be humans. They can be nebulans, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But what you need is the small... How do you put it? The small character, the eyes to look up at these huge godlike creatures. Hello, I'm still there? Hello?
I just lost that entire paragraph.
Alright, okay. So I can re-edit that. What you need is the small characters. They could be humans, they could be nebulans, they could be whatever. They could be bloody tiny little ents for all I care. They could be Smurfs. What you need is the tiny, the human character.
So juxtaposition.
Yeah. To be able to look up at these huge godlike characters and go, oh my frickin' god. Now, when it comes to stuff like Last Stand of the Wreckers, or Beast Machines, it works because there's no human characters. But it wouldn't work in the long term. You can't have everything without the human characters. Definitely not. What annoys me is the fact that you have this one guy who, as you say, found everything under the kitchen sink and took out somebody with it. But he didn't... It wasn't believable. At all. So yeah, that's my problem with it, that you've got the human just being able to unrealistically take out the big Cybertronian. Because at this point, if Spike can do that, why can't anybody else? And if everybody else can do that, why are the Autobots still there?
No, I'll give you that. I'll give you how he actually applies. The concept is viable. But isn't this kind of the point that he's Spike? Whilst he can train other people to do this, you need that lack of fear. You need to be able to look up at these things and say, I'm not afraid of you. I can beat you. And not be, fecking giant monster. That's why he's Spike. And that's why he has to lead. But going back to before, you don't show fear in front of your staff.
True. But he doesn't show anything in front of his staff. He just goes off and does it by himself.
Well, he's got major daddy issues, so you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm convinced he's got two dads. That's one thing the ongoing seems to have shown me is Spike has two dads. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, it doesn't. I'm thoroughly confused by a lot of that, to be honest.
Yeah. Spike and my two dads. I'm a robot.
But the best part of one of the current issues was when you've got Bumblebee and Prime stood in the same room, and somebody turned to Bumblebee to lead.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious. I had to put the comic down off. I was laughing so hard. Hey, you little yellow dude, what do we do next?
When you ask him, he's not the leader anymore. Sitting in a corner is the right of all sentient beings.
Yes, Prime sits there with a shotgun wondering whether he should blow his head off this week.
He's just there flipping a dice. Heads. Heads.
It's not even that. He's got an air jump pistol with one bullet in the chamber, spinning it round and putting it to his head and pulling click. Cybertronian roulette.
Gonna kill myself in a way that's fun. Do I'm Prime, the suicide. I've just dropped everything, damn it. I was going to sing a song about Prime, the suicidal leader, but then I dropped everything. That was unfortunate. Or Babyface, I don't know. One of the two. So, moving on then.
So the one proviso I said when I came back to this was that I'm not buying the toys.
Right.
As you know,
in any great number, is that, or at all?
I bought Masterpiece Skywarp because Masterpiece Skywarp is a work of art.
Yeah.
I was always planning to buy Masterpiece Grimlock.
Mm-hmm.
I like. This is the thing that drew me to the franchise in the very first place. Is that when I got the comics as a kid, I loved the concept that a car could become a robot. And in my head, I didn't put this in these terms when I was a child, obviously, but yeah, the mass is about right. You've got metal, you've got volume, and you know if you break it apart, then yes, you can possibly make a giant robot out of all that metal.
Yeah,
giant being a relative term, obviously.
Of course,
but I can go with that. I can see that. That's absolutely fine with me. And you get to where we are now, where you've got Drift, who is a really nice drift car. And then you turn him into a robot, and he's so articulate.
Mm-hmm.
And the main thing for me that I really frustrated me as a child is that his weapons are part of the vehicle. There was nothing worse to me than getting Prowl and taking that fucking huge overhead fucking cannon off the side of his head, putting it to the side, and then letting him drive away from it.
Yeah.
I don't have subspace, even if he does.
In your mind, Prime's trailer just stayed where he left it.
Exactly. It's just like you've got kids playing in the back of it. The toys these days are absolutely amazing, and I think I mentioned somewhere that I'm now buying the Legends class
Yes.
because they're £2 for £4. This is partly to encourage my supermarket to actually stock some cool stuff, but it's mainly because these are actually really nice little figures. If I had children, I would be buying these every week. You know, it's £4 for 2 toys.
Yeah. Yeah, you can
And
build up quite a large collection of them without breaking the
compare.
spot.
I mean, as I said before, they stand on my shelf next to my Classics wind charger,
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing the same scale. They're infinitely more articulate, and they're really nice models in both modes. The only problem I have is the Fallen and Jetfire because they're not particularly good alt modes. But
Yeah, the Fallen doesn't
that,
turn into anything. That's the problem.
no, it's a lump of plastic. Another lump of plastic.
Yay!
But the toys are not things to be played with for me. They're things that sit on my shelf and look cool.
Yeah.
What the other thing that you've got me interested in, which I never even considered in the years of owning all sorts of toys and things, is customization.
Ah, kit bashes.
Well, not just kit bashes. I mean, just making a toy better.
Yeah.
Correcting what they, in my eyes, got wrong.
Yeah.
I've got one thing that I'm planning to do, which I'm not going to tell you about because if I can do it, it's going to be absolutely cool and you'll love it.
Awesome.
And it's really simple, but you will see the fullness of time. But all this other stuff, I mean, some of these are really nice, but they need augmentation in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I've never looked at them before, and I'm looking forward to kind of getting into this. I mean, Master Beast Skywarp. If you actually look at him, the paint is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
All the markings are absolutely brilliant,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to do anything to him, so I don't need to.
Yeah.
But some of the other stuff, there's just the concept that yes, you can change these things. That I like, and that's something that's come out of Fandom that I would never have got to by myself.
Well, it's one of those things that once you start, you'll never look back.
More than likely. I mean, I've put some pictures up of the really badly repainted toys. That I've got another one to put up, which is oh god, what's this Superior? It's the leader of the area boss.
Silverbolt. Yeah.
It's Silverbolt. Very pretty. It's you see. Again, I'm going to keep coming back. You're not winning me over on this. You shouldn't reuse character names. That is not Silverbolt. Silverbolt is scared of heights.
He's not the awesome heroic dogbot.
No.
Oh.
I will save you from the dark poison of my heart. Yeah. I've got a G1 Silverbolt that is absolutely intact. It's perfect, except for someone's painted it green. And not with nice acrylic paints. They've done a really nice job on it. They've basically gone to their dad's shed, found the green gloss paint, and made him. And then they've not bothered to, they haven't de-stickered it or anything. They've just basically gone round the stickers, or in some cases over the stickers.
Oh.
And it's beyond the shoddy. To be honest with you, it's one of the things that I looked at and went, whatever I do will be better than that. So, in some ways, it's inspirational. In other ways, it's just like, what were you thinking? But then again, I am the guy who completely devalued his entire original collection by throwing darts at it. So
throwing darts at it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to line them all. We had like a landing at the top of our stairs that was maybe sort of 10 foot long. So I would line up all the Autobots and all my kind of rebel heroes from Star Wars, and at one end, and line up all the Decepticons and all the Darth Vaders and Stormtroopers at the other end, and then stand behind them and throw darts at each other until the last one standing won.
I shouldn't laugh. I have stories of things I did to Lego men, so...
I have a bomb burst with the Pretender shell.
Right.
And the Pretender shell looks like he's been in downtown Harlem. It's just completely pockmarked with that whole. Which, to be honest, I would never sell these things anyway, so that's not really an issue.
No, no.
And it is nice to kind of look back and say, bloody hell, I was a complete and utter idiot.
I just want to know exactly where I learned to make small-scale explosives from when I was about 11, and how I'm still alive. Because small-scale explosives in Lego is absolutely awesome. But anyhow. Wow, we have gone way off topic here. Right, so, I think it's, I have to start pulling this to a close shortly, I think.
I think we're there, to be honest with you. I mean, I was out. I'm now trying to get back in. The problems I have are, as I say, I've got this black hole where I just simply don't know what people are talking about. Now, the comics are relatively easy to fill.
Yeah.
I've read most of the Dream Raid stuff now. The problem I'm having, to be honest with you, isn't the official stuff. It's the unofficial stuff. It's the mosaics. It's the what's the other stuff? It's the fanfic. Well, not fanfic so much as in the fans project stuff and the BotCon things and the.
Right. Yeah.
I couldn't tell you now how much of the Shattered Glass universe there is and where it is because I've got the BotCon comic.
Yeah.
But there has to be more than that because people keep referencing stuff that I'm looking at thinking, I don't know what you're talking about or where it comes from.
That mostly comes from the TF Club magazine. And of course, with Shattered Glass being over and done with now, and we're into the Wings of Honor, I think for the best term I can put it. The only way you'd be able to get that is via unsupported means, or going and trying to rebuy some of the old Collectors Club magazines, unless they finally pull the finger out the ass and start trade paperbacking it all again, which they did with the Balance and Act storyline.
I'm drawing a blank on that one.
The 2005, 2006 maybe 2006, maybe 2007. The storyline for that year they put in a trade paperback.
Okay, this may be another black hole.
Oh, don't worry. Very few people have read Balancing Act, which is a bit of a shame because most of it's quite good.
This is kind of you've led me into a kind of an interesting area.
Mm-hmm.
I consider the comics to be more canonical than the TV shows. The TV shows I enjoy and I watch, but for me the story is the comics.
Yeah. It's usually because the comics usually have less continuity errors, which, I mean, let's face it, from G1 onwards, continuity errors is just a thing we've learned to deal with.
Yeah, Rumble is red, Frenzy is blue.
Indeed he is. Indeed he is. And
if I could buy either, I would be quite happy.
Well, there's always the Fans Project versions, which are really nice.
Yes, you remember I said about that little alarm before?
Yeah.
It's ringing. Now, I would buy that if I could buy the, oh god, what was it, the figure they fancied, the dark, it's not Dark Mount, is it? It's,
the Straxus.
Yes.
Right.
No, the one that the Rumble and Frenzy connect to.
Oh, the Shadow Commander.
Yes, that's one.
Right.
Yes, I would have to buy the lot if I was going to buy them, so I'm not going to buy them.
If it makes you feel any better, the City Commander is staring at me right now, and it is gorgeous.
I'm glad you enjoy him. But they don't turn into tapes though, so I'm not interested for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Don't ask me why. I like tapes.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm going to be getting the full set of these things as they come out.
Yeah.
Because I desperately want the Warp Cybertron Soundwave, and then all these little tapes standing around him.
Yeah. I found a slam dance yesterday.
Oh, nice.
And the alarm wasn't going off, but it was bloody expensive. I was looking at it. I was thinking, I shouldn't buy that. I really shouldn't buy that. Must take hand off mouse. Must turn computer off and walk away.
I would say that your best idea there would be, instead of trying to buy them from eBay or whatever, just wait. Wait till next August. Come to Auto Assembly. Come to Auto Assembly and buy the Encore sets.
That's the plan, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Because I've bought so much shit
Mhm.
and loose joints. Because as I said before, I want these things to stand on a shelf.
Yes.
I don't tinker with them too much. I've got Bomb Shock in a really nice pose, and if I so much as glance at him, he wobbles. So I ain't taking him apart. But yeah, I want something with a nice tight joint set that can sit on my shelf and look freaking awesome.
Mhm.
And there's somebody on eBay who they're evil, they're pure evil, but they've got a sound wave. And he stood there with both arms up, and he's got Laserbeak on one arm, he's got Buzzsaw on the other arm,
Mhm.
and he's got Rat Bat perched on his shoulder, and he's
Mhm.
got Rumble Frenzy and Ramhorn. It was one of the Ausbox sets, stood in front of him, and I was just looking at that saying, "Oh, that's amazing." I could buy that and then put it on my shelf looking just like that, and it would be so cool. Yeah, I didn't have a Ravage actually, now I think about it. Anyway.
Well, you will have by the end of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand why you don't want him.
I've got two.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
Because I bought a second hand to repaint as... Oh god, Generation 2 character. Brain has gone completely blank. Turbo Fire.
Okay.
Because I loves my G2, I does.
Yeah. Yeah, you've, because of your lust for G2 Firecons, they are now on my I've got like a watch list of stuff that I keep checking for.
Yeah.
And if I do ever find a set, I will buy them.
Just to annoy me.
And then I will mount them on the hood of my car and drive up and down your street.
You bastard! I bet you haven't seen any though, have you?
No.
Yeah.
No, they don't seem to exist.
It's unreal. They do exist. I had them. I just... That's all I need. I mean, I've got freaking Brazilian Firecons. Yeah. That's all I need. I've got a crazy ass version of Cindersaw which has Flame Feather's legs, and Sparkstalker's wings and front arms.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, having that. Yeah, I found this thing. Can I find the? I've got the Japanese ones. Yeah, but can I find the G2 European release? No. The most widespread? No, can't find them. It's unreal. It's not fair. I may cry. But anyhow, getting back to what we're trying to do. So, the next year, what is it that you're looking forward to? What is it that you think you'll be getting, and what is it you think you'll be doing within the fandom? Just to spring that one on you. Oh yes.
Well, because of all the because I've been searching down the news for the site, I've seen a lot of the stuff that's coming out, and a lot of it doesn't grab me, to be honest with you. I mean,
yeah.
Do I need a Bumblebee with a plastic shell around him, basically?
If I was collecting animated, I would buy that, because it reminds me of Cosmos.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of that in them.
Yeah.
I'm planning to buy... My enduring love of Dinobots is only being fueled by what I've seen of the animated stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to be trying to buy a complete set of animated Dinobots. I'm going to try and pick up all the Soundwave and the tapes. I don't really care about Blaster, but I want Soundwave and the tapes. Fandom wise, if I've got two things I need to come off, and I can go to auto assembly.
Okay.
It is purely a financial thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully I'll be there. The thing I like about this entire podcasting endeavor is the community.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's like-minded people. Well, not even like-minded people. It's people who share a common interest. Exchanging ideas. As a species, I feel this is how we grow and this is how we learn. Yeah. I understand I'm not right. I understand that you're not right. I understand that together we could be right. And the further you spread that out, the more right you will be.
Yeah.
And beyond that, it's important to not isolate yourself. The more isolated you are, the more vulnerable you are, just on a kind of species level.
Yep.
You need support structures. You need people who can introduce you to new things.
Oh,
And
definitely.
as I was talking about comic shops, I want people to come up to me and say, hey, I read this, I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't want, what I really despise when people will say, you must read this now. Because I'm not them. And
Yeah.
their life experiences which have led them to a point where they will really enjoy something aren't necessarily my experiences. The best thing that you've probably introduced me to,
Mm-hmm.
outside of Transformers, is Red versus Blue. I adore Red versus Blue. I have got DVDs coming to me from Amazon.com
Yeah.
of the first 5 seasons because that is freaking amazing.
Oh, God,
I mean,
yeah.
even taking the concept of it, which we've all done, we've all sat there watching a cutscene and revoiced it with our mates. Everyone's done that.
There's actually videos that I've done of that.
But that series is freaking amazing. What they did with kind of like the I can't remember what the titles are called, but where they basically, I'm not going to spoil it if anybody wasn't seeing it, but what they do with that series and where it goes to,
Yeah.
is very, very good. And I wouldn't have guessed that from the start.
No.
And
Well,
that
no.
just
You look at the first 4 episodes, and it's got nothing to do really with anything that happens later on. The basic premise is there, but oh God, it gets good.
Yeah. And the fact that they've done that and that they've now released box sets of the DVDs,
Yep.
this is amazing. I mean, the other things are short packs. I would
Yes.
never have found short packs without one throwaway line from Stu.
Yeah.
And the way that it obviously resonated with him led me to think, okay, I will go and look at this and see if I enjoy it. And that is really good. I mean, it's hit and miss, is what I would say so far.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoy it. I mean, I'm reading the current stuff. I'm trying to go back and read the old stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of these characters I don't know. But there's a truism to it.
Oh yeah, he's writing what he knows, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things was I didn't realise that, I forget the character's name, but I didn't realise that one of the characters was gay.
Yeah, the main character.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, but you just, it's believable.
Yes.
It's he's not a stereotypical gay person. He is just a person.
Yeah.
And
He's
that's
a
the key
character.
thing.
It is one of the things that makes up his character.
Yeah, but that is one of the things we have never got to with Transformers. Now, Transformers is not. It is completely asexual, even though it's not.
Yes.
That's why RC is such an anomaly, and that's why I really like what they did with that character.
Yeah. They put a really interesting and original spin on it. Which was...
gun to my head, RC is far and away my favourite character.
Seriously?
From the IDW Spotlight version of RC is my favourite character. Because she is a completely psychotic bitch, but a psychotic bitch with a very, very, very good point.
Yeah.
Somebody has seriously messed her up. She's dangerous, but logical.
Yeah. There is a point, what's the term? Reason behind the madness.
Yeah, and also the fact that that piece of artwork from the cover is jaw-droppingly beautiful.
That it is. It really, really is. It is.
I mean, that's
an absolute thing of beauty.
Yeah, I mean, that's coming back to the fandom. That is the other thing that I've been given. Rob has given me the ability to look at a piece of art and to enjoy it as a piece of art, not as in something that contains the text that I'm going to read that moves the story on.
Yeah.
But as in something that conveys a story of its own. And for better or worse, I didn't see that. I'm very much, I forget if it's right or left, but I'm very much right. I think it's right-brained.
Right.
I see things as logical and mechanical. The artistic side of my brain is very much secondary.
Yeah.
But to actually take the time and to try and interpret something from a picture it's led these things to mean so much more and to have so much more depth. And, I mean, again, it's kind of inspired me to try and actually do something myself. I can't draw. I know I can't. It's one of the things that I can't do. But I can draw what I see. I can interpret things, and I can kind of do my own thing, which is kind of the point, I assume.
Yeah. If you're going to start trying to draw great big mechas, I suppose having an engineering mind. Engineering mind?
Yeah. I've engineered my mind.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. A genetically engineered mind. Having a, I don't know, what would be the term? A mechanically inclined mind.
Yeah. I did technical drawing at school, and yes, technically I could draw a decent plane or a decent car just using straight lines, but it wouldn't have soul.
Yeah. I suppose it's the difference between the current Don Figueroa artwork and Nick Roche's artwork, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's technically brilliant, and then there's having the character come alive.
Yeah, it's the love that goes into it, which is a really strange thing, but it shines through. It does.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think we can probably draw this to a close now. Just purely because we're doing something that you hate. And so I'm going to stretch this. We're going to stretch this last section out just to annoy you. Because we are heading into the hour and a half mark, if not slightly more. So, I thank you for coming on to this and doing this with me. Mr. Tricky. Sorry, Mr. Tricky. And...
Do you want to do one?
I can't. There's a lawyer standing right next to me now. I think he's known as Owl Lawyer, and he's just standing there with his big beady owl lawyer eyes going, "Go on. Do it. I have litigation."
What happens if you do void this, by the way?
I feel that I end up being left in Antarctica with penguins poking me.
It's okay. When we need to go somewhere, we'll dig you up and then fly you.
You're not getting into me to go anywhere, friend.
It was Hugh's idea.
This doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I think we need to close this down now.
Absolutely.
As we're talking into getting into me to fly somewhere. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming on, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.